In this world, millions of people are born. Some want happiness, some seek success, and some live only to find the answer to one question. Who am I? Why have I come? What is the purpose of my life? All our lives we run after studies, jobs, money, fame, and reputation. But at the end of this race, we often feel one thing, that we gained nothing even after gaining everything. But why? Because we know the body, we understand the mind, but we forget the soul. We see life through external eyes, but the true meaning of life is hidden in the inner consciousness. In today's video, we will unravel the mystery of human life, dive deep into the soul, and find the true purpose of this life in the light of Hinduism, ancient civilization, and Brahma Jnana, knowledge of the Absolute. This video can change your life if you are ready to accept the truth. First question, why is there birth? From a scientific point of view, birth is a biological accident, but from a spiritual point of view, birth is the result of the karma of past lives. Hinduism says reincarnation is not a story, it is a great truth. Our soul is eternal. However, the soul is not this body, not this mind, and not these thoughts. The soul is pure consciousness, the pure consciousness, which is the very essence of everything. The position you are in today, successful, unsuccessful, in pain, or in happiness, you have created it yourself. And that is why human birth is not a coincidence, it is part of a huge plan. This world is a game, and the core of this game is Maya, illusion. Maya is the force that keeps you mistaken, believing that this body is you, that this world is real, that this happiness is the final word. But this is the trap. When you are under the shadow of Maya, you forget that you are actually the soul. Hinduism says that in this world bewildered by Maya, humans constantly forget their true identity. And this mistake is what spins us in the cycle of birth and rebirth. Inside you is an immortal entity. This body is constantly changing. The thoughts of the brain are changing. But the soul is unchangeable. Brahma Jnana says the soul is never born and never dies. And this soul is a part of God. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. You are a part of God, so your life also has a divine purpose. You were not born just to eat, sleep, earn, and die. You were born to know the truth. No matter how much external knowledge a person acquires, if he does not know the knowledge within himself, everything is useless. All knowledge without self-knowledge is darkness. The Vedic scriptures say, how will one know the world if he doesn't know himself? Inside you is a power that when awakened will make you extraordinary. The name of this power is inner sight. Science calls it conscious awareness, and Hindu philosophy calls it Atmabodha, self-realization. This Atmabodha liberates man. This Atmabodha saves man from the net of Maya. This Atmabodha leads man closer to God. Psychology says your behavior is determined by experience and environment, but spiritual science says your behavior is determined by your level of consciousness. If you stay at the level of the mind, you will be stuck in worldly enjoyments. But if you reach the level of the soul, you will realize that true peace is in sacrifice, not in enjoyment. The mind drowns you in sorrow. The soul liberates you. And this liberation is Moksha, the chief goal. Ancient civilizations of India, such as the Indus Valley and Egyptian civilizations, were at the highest level not just in technology, but also in spirituality. Their temples were not just places of worship, they were consciousness activation centers where the soul was awakened through dhyan, mantra, and pranayama, breathing exercises. They knew that man is not just a body, man is a mobile universe. Science is discovering today what they had found the source code for many thousands of years ago. Scriptures say God resides deep in the heart, but God is not found in idols or in mere words. God is found within yourself, by losing yourself. When the mind is calm, when thoughts are still, only in that stillness will you hear the call of God. And then you will understand that the true purpose of life is to realize God. This world is not a school. It is a laboratory. You don't come here to learn. You come here to prove who you are. Before you will come greed, fear, enmity, failure, delusion, and sorrow. These are all the test questions, and these tests will teach you whether you are under the control of the body or the power of the soul. The ancient rishis said that the penance that arises in the heart of man is what draws him towards God. When suffering comes, two paths are open. One is to run away, and the other is to awaken yourself. Which one you choose will determine whether your life will just be a story of survival or a history of self-awakening. Human life can be divided into three levels. 1, the physical level or material level, where you only run after money, power, and pleasure. 2, the mental level or mental level, where you revolve around logic, knowledge, arguments, and experiences. 3, the spiritual level or spiritual level, where you want to transcend yourself and become one with God. 99% of the people in the world spend their time in the first two levels. However, for those who dedicate themselves to the search for truth, the door to the third level opens. That is the level where the awakening of the soul begins. That is the level where the true meaning of life is grasped. That is the level where man finds his identity as the child of God. Most people think moksha means liberation after death, but this is completely wrong. Moksha means when you are free from Maya while still alive. When delusion cannot touch you, when sorrow cannot break you, when death cannot scare you. That is when you are liberated. That is moksha. It is not heaven, not an afterlife. It is a state, a stability, a level of consciousness where you can say, I am a child of God. I am not afraid. The moment you accept self-knowledge, a great war begins from that moment. This war is not with anyone outside. This war is against the ignorance within you, against your greed, anger, desire, and ego. Those who win this war become great sages. Those who lose this war get caught again in the cycle of rebirth. If you can conquer your own mind, then no power in the world can make you a slave anymore, because then you are not just a human, you are an awoken soul. Every soul has a calling, an inner voice that says, you have come for a special purpose. Some ignore this voice, and some listen with deep attention. The life path of the one who listens changes completely. You also have that calling. If this video touches your heart, know that your soul is also calling you. It is calling you to wake up, calling you to know the soul, calling you to fulfill the true purpose of life. God cannot be understood, He has to be experienced.
And that experience only comes when you recognize your own soul. Then God is no longer an outsider. He becomes the heartbeat of your heart. The Vedas say, the one who gives you breath, the one who makes you think, is God. He is not limited to the pages of books or the rituals of worship. He is within your soul, in every thought, in every breath. Your consciousness means who you are. This consciousness, if you immerse it in TV, mobile, and the external world, you will remain just a reactive machine. But if you take control of your own consciousness, you will become a conscious creator. Consciousness is not passive, it's creative. Ancient rishis said man creates himself through his thoughts. Whatever your mind thinks, you become that.
And Vedic scriptures hold exactly this truth for thousands of years. From the Rig Veda to the Upanishads, everything teaches us how to build a meaningful life by understanding the relationship between the soul, God, and this world. These scriptures are still relevant even in today's AI age, because no matter how advanced in technology man becomes, his soul is still looking for an answer. Who am I? Modern society believes a spiritual person is weak, fearful, and world-averse, but this is completely wrong. Spirituality means structuring yourself in such a way that you can control any external situation. Spirituality means you will not break down. Spirituality means you will not depend on anyone. Spirituality means you will find the source of infinite power within yourself. This power will give you stability, wisdom, self-confidence, and fearlessness. The biggest fear is death, and the reason behind the fear of death is one: we think everything ends after death. But the person who has known the soul knows that death is only a change of state. The soul does not die, only the body changes. Hinduism says, just as a person throws away old clothes and wears new ones, the soul also leaves the old body and takes on a new body. This is the concept of reincarnation. And this reincarnation is not a scriptural fiction. Today's psychology and past life regression research have presented many proofs of it. Not only Hinduism, but also Buddhist, Jain, and even ancient Greek civilization have said the soul is immortal. Therefore, if what you are doing now is not honest, if there is distortion in your actions, then you will have to bear the consequences not only in this life, but also in the next life. This is the law of karma, and this is the unchangeable law of life. As you work, so you will get the result. This law is absolutely flawless. If you wish harm on someone, that harm begins within you first. If you correct yourself every day, then creation also becomes kind to you. This is the law of karma, which is known as samskara in Hindu philosophy. Every thought, word, and deed is reflected in the universe. Every moment of yours is creating a blueprint for the future. Therefore, if you truly want a great and meaningful future, then from now on, make every action, every thought, honest, pure, and directed by full consciousness. Who am I? This question is the deepest, most urgent question of mankind, and the search for the answer to this one question begins philosophy, religion, psychology, Brahma Jnana, and spiritual practice. If you truly want to find the answer to this question, then you have to go within yourself. Not the mind, not logic, but deep meditation and deep introspection. When you wake up in your true form, you yourself will say, I am not just the body. I am not just a name or identity. I am the soul. I am consciousness. I am Brahman. This realization is the highest realization. This Atmabodha is the door to liberation. Today's society says the one who earns more money is successful. The one who enjoys more luxury is successful. The one who has more followers and more fame, their life is perfect. This thought is the trap of Maya. Hindu philosophy says successful is the one who has known himself. Successful is the one in whom God has awakened. Successful is the one who has conquered his mind and been able to express the soul. Money, fame, and reputation are all temporary. What will remain forever is your level of consciousness. So if you want to be successful, you must first be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, is your life truly following the voice of your soul? If this discussion has touched your heart, then it is understood that a fire is burning inside you, an unknown question, a deep thirst, a vibration of inner awakening. Before you are two paths. One is to return to the path of your old life, and the other is to start a spiritual revolution from today. If you want a truly meaningful life, then start the search for self-identity today, cutting the net of Maya, raising the level of consciousness, and realizing God. You are ready. Life is waiting. God is calling. The only question is, are you listening to that call? Not words, not books, not speeches. Meditation is the only way where you can experience God. Meditation does not mean being silent. Meditation means removing yourself from all external thoughts and reaching the inner center. Meditation does not mean stopping the mind. Meditation means taking the mind to such a deep level where it becomes still on its own. Hinduism says that through meditation, the soul merges with God. A life without meditation means an existence without God. Ancient rishis sat in meditation for days and years and touched that level of consciousness where I and God are not two separate things, they are one. This meditation is the bridge through which man crosses the scent of the earth and listens to the song of the sky. Ancient Tantra Shastra says at the base of the human spine sleeps a serpent-like power called Kundalini. This Kundalini is the storehouse of your inner, pure, eternal power, which when awakened, you will be reborn in a new form. This power slowly rises through the upper chakras from Muladhara to Ajna chakra and then awakens courage, love, inner being, and everything, taking it to the pinnacle of consciousness, the Sahasrara chakra. If you do not understand right now why you are in this world, then your Kundalini is still sleeping, and the moment it wakes up, a surprising manifestation bursts from within you, which no book, no person, and no language can describe. Many think spiritual power means supernatural abilities, seeing the future, flying in the sky, raising the dead. But no, this is a completely wrong idea. Spiritual power is not a supernatural trick. Spiritual power means achieving completeness within oneself, a stability where you can calmly accept all situations. Even in someone's hatred, your love does not decrease. You can control your thoughts. You know when to speak and when not to. You know there is a wondrous existence outside the body, and that is you yourself. This is true power. This is true fulfillment. This is a soul that is no longer a slave to the body. It is a beacon of light. You do not know how immense you are. You are actually a moving universe. The power in your body is such that you can purify yourself, change the world, and create a reality that was previously only an imagination. Your brain, heart, breath, feelings, everything is connected to each other. And if this coordination is activated correctly, you will become a person whose thoughts will shake creation. Yes, you can activate the universe within you right from this moment. All that is needed is a little awareness, a little practice, and profound faith. At the end of this whole journey, you are no longer that old person. You have heard, realized, and felt. Now the only question is, will you only think about these truths, or will you apply them in your life right from now? Will you live like the soul? Will you work on the development of consciousness? Will you conquer Maya and embody God? If your life is lost every day only in the whirlpool of the body, mind, and the world, then you are wasting this great human birth. Let your new birth begin from this very moment, transcending birth, death, Maya, karma, and God. You realize, I am the soul. I am infinite. I am enlightened consciousness. I am a part of God. Man is born with a desire for receiving, but a complete man is built through giving. First we think, what will I get? But after self-awakening, the question changes to, what can I give? This transformation is the ultimate goal of human life. This change shows that you are no longer a slave to the body, greed, and Maya. You are now the soul, a bright form of love and service. Ancient scriptures say, the welfare of others, Paramartha, is the supreme Dharma. Not for oneself, but the fulfillment of the soul is in the welfare of others. When you help a person in distress, not only their life, but your soul also expands. This is the true beauty of service. Spirituality does not mean sitting on a mountain and meditating, or running away from the world. Spirituality means connecting every action of life with God. You wake up in the morning, eat, work, take care of your family. All this can be spiritual if you connect it with God consciously, selflessly, with gratitude. If you cook with the intention of offering it to God, then that cooking also becomes a form of worship. If you love someone from a pure heart, then that becomes the form of devotion. Spirituality does not mean that you will change. Spirituality means you will find God within what you already are. This world is so full of noise that man can no longer hear the voice of his own heart. But the soul speaks in silence. Consciousness awakens when sound stops. The presence of God is felt when the mind is still. This silence does not mean there is no sound. This silence means a deep resonance is going on in every particle. Meditation, chanting, breath, and concentration, these four will take you to that level where you can hear the true voice of your soul. You cannot wake up just because you want to. There will be some terrifying obstacles on this path. First, ego, dwelling in the attitude of I know everything. Second, delusion, the fear of what will people say. Third, enjoyment, surrendering to the senses. Fourth, laziness, wasting time by saying, I will start tomorrow. Every one of these obstacles covers the light of the soul. And these obstacles are not just external. These shadows hide in the corners of your mind. However, if you dare to move forward, these shadows will melt away and become shadows themselves. Self-knowledge is like light. Once it is lit, darkness will not last. Do you know what the biggest mistake in this world is? No, it is not poverty, not failure, not the breakdown of a relationship. The biggest mistake is forgetting yourself, thinking of your body as I, thinking of your profession as your identity, thinking of your failure as destiny. These mistakes deviate you from the path of the soul. And so, as long as you look for yourself in these shadowy identities, you will be lost in the cycle of birth, this world, and the suffering. You were born to remember yourself. You will die to conquer death by knowing yourself. People die. Their names are erased. Their deeds are forgotten by this world. But those who awakened consciousness never perish. They remain beyond time. They do not remain in history, but within the inner soul. Will you be such a person who is only remembered, or will you be the person whose awakened light flows in the consciousness of others? Memories are temporary, but consciousness is eternal. If your work, thought, meditation, and knowledge come from the soul, then that consciousness will spread throughout the entire universe. Everyone watches, understands, and praises, but how many become the hero of their own life? Spirituality means transforming yourself from a spectator to a leader. You will no longer look to fate. You will no longer blame circumstances. You will no longer depend on the approval of others. Instead, you will take the key to your own destiny into your own hands. Your every step, every decision, every reaction will all be dependent on the soul and consciousness. You will be that person whose eyes have no fear, whose mouth speaks the truth, whose heart is full of love, and whose soul is awakened with God. What is the most terrifying power in this world? No, it is not a weapon, not money, not political power. It is an awakened, fearless soul, because it does not fear death, finds peace in solitude, sees God even in suffering, and never bows its head before untruth. The soul does not seek external protection, it seeks inner courage. When you realize the truth, you will see that fear is not inside you. The source of fear is Maya. And if you accept the soul, then fear itself will move away from your path. What you have done in the past is not important. Thinking about what you will do in the future is also pointless. What you have is this moment. In this one moment alone, you can connect with God, awaken your soul, throw away old identities, and choose a new path. In this one breath, you can change forever. The Vedas say, what you do in this moment is the seed of your future. So right now, in this moment, close your eyes, feel yourself, know the soul, and quietly say, I am ready. I will walk the path of light. At this moment, you have arrived at an endpoint where you stand between two paths. One path leads to old thoughts, where you are just a body, a name, a worker. The other path is towards the soul, where you are a living fire, eternal consciousness, a manifestation of God. Now, the decision is yours. Will you fall asleep again,
or wake up? Will you be lost again in the play of Maya, or will you yourself become the light? Consider this birth, this moment, this realization, everything did not come by chance. This path has called you because you are ready. You are the soul that this world is asking for today. Go forth, wake up, become illuminated, because you are not just a human, you are an awakened Brahman.